welcome to the Killtocraft podcast, episode 39. I am Nessa, or Vanessa, your host, and today I have a ton to share with you. I actually have about an hour to record this episode, so I'm going to condense some things, mainly because I have exciting things to share this week, and I need to fit it all in, as I've just said. So thank you to all new and returning viewers. A big hello to any new viewers. Hello. Thank you for coming and checking me out and spending a little bit of time with me. That is really sweet of you. And to all my returning viewers, hey guys! I'm back again. It's been a little while. So we'll go straight onto the group admin. We have a Ravelry group, which is the Killtocraft podcast, and on there are the Knitalongs and giveaways and such. So if you'd like to keep in with what's going on in the group, it's a really nice group of people, and we have some lovely Knitalongs that are very chatty and they like to share what they're making, and I love that kind of atmosphere. So if you actually want to knit along with others, then it is the perfect place to join in. We have 2 Knitalongs, both of which are coming to head on the 15th of November, so that's not long. However, one of those you could still make something for, which is the Harvest Hat-Along 2017, which is hosted by me and Twee of the Twisted Stitches podcast. Both of us previously did the Harvest Hat-Along and really enjoyed it, and this year we decided to do it again. However, I've not really participated because I suck. I did intend to, and I actually casted on the Fleece and Sea hat, which I really wanted to make last year, and I still want to make, but in the end I didn't like my yarn choice and it wasn't exciting me, so I actually ripped it back. And I don't think I even shared it with you because that's how much I weren't into it. I have, however, casted on the Chester Basin hat, which is from the Take Heart collection by Fiona Alice. However, I've not gotten too far. It's kind of one of those whips I've had to just pop aside because I'm too busy on other things. So it won't end up being put into the knit along thread, really. I don't think there's any point in sharing it at this late date. Anyway, please do come in and join in on that. And then we have a second knit along, which is a little bit more of a larger project, KAL, and that actually is the Brioche Along 2017. And there is a ton of gorgeous shawls in that thread. There is a ton of oracle shawls, and it's making me very jealous because I want to cast mine on and I still can't. My knitting has been doing terrible things to me lately, where it has been making me feel very guilty. So I haven't participated in any of my new knit alongs that I really wanted to this time around. Woe me. Anyway, so both of those are still going on, but the Brioche Along is probably the hardest one to join in on because it's mainly larger projects, and unless you can punch out a large brioche project in 2 weeks, then you might not be able to make it into that. Then we also had the So Close shawl giveaway, which was going on in the Ravelry group, and I put up a thread, and there wasn't a huge amount of people joining in on that, but there was a good 13, including myself for the main post, who wanted to join in for that giveaway, which is really sweet, so thank you very much for joining in. And that was a beautiful design by Vicky. I can't remember your last name now, Vicky, sorry. She used to host the Sweet Leaps podcast. I'm sure you all know Vicky. And she did this gorgeous shawl design. So I actually did a random number generator and locked the thread before I started this episode, and lo and behold, the prize winner was post number 2, which is actually Twee of the Twisted Stitches podcast. Yay! Congratulations, Twee. Please get in touch with me, and I will also send over your details to Vicky and get that sent over to you. So that's really fun. Congratulations. I hope you love your shawl. Can't wait to see what you decide to use with that when you get a chance to do that is. So next things on the agenda is what I'm wearing. I'm not really wearing many hand knits today because I put on a sweater, which is just over here, and it was too hot, so I took it off. So I decided to change into a shirt, but I am wearing my Take Heart hat with my alpaca fur pom-pom. This is an ethically sourced fur pom-pom. It's made from baby alpacas for farmers if their animals have passed away through natural causes, and they obviously need ways to keep funding and helping with the farming. One of the ways they do that is by creating fur pom-poms, and they sell them, and it gives them a bit of revenue back for that unforeseen circumstance, and I kind of like that. That's nice. It keeps the farmers in business. And the other thing, I just knitted this out of Drops Alaska, I think it's called, but it's a really cute colourway. I love purple. The next thing I'm wearing as well is my, if I can get them up here, my U-Ball socks, which are the yarn is by the London House Yarns, and she's got plenty of her Christmas colourways in at the moment, and this is one of them. So if you wanted to check out her shop over the next couple of months, you might be able to grab a skein. These were the most funnest socks I knit last winter. I loved them. Right, so anyway, on to the next segment, which I have none of. I have no FOs. I know, I showed you tons over the past few weeks, and this week I have none at all to share. But I do have plenty of whips, so I will get onto those. Now, I have been working on a few things, which I'll just talk about briefly first because I don't want to show you them all. I have been working on my partner's sweater, and that's been coming on really nicely. I've now got the back and front finished, and I just have the sleeves and the neckband to draft up the pattern for and get on knitting with those. So hopefully I might have that done this month. I'm hoping to start tomorrow drafting up the sleeves, and lo and behold, I should have by the end of the month a sweater for him. It's just a plain stocking stitch sweater in grey, a light grey, and well, it's like a medium grey actually. I lie. With ribbed edgings, nothing fancy, which is why I'm not going to share it with you. But I'm getting there. So that's a gift knit, but it's not technically for Christmas. My second gift knit is for my mum, which I have in my Knit and Stitch Bits bag, which I love. This is one of my favourite bags. I love this bag. So I started this slightly in the summer, and I drafted up a chart which was actually based on a Cath Kidston design that my mum had seen and really loved, and it was like a vintage styled cardigan. I am using for this some Sirdar cotton DK, which is really nice to crochet with because it's not splitty, so I've really enjoyed that. I don't like crocheting with things that split really easily. It annoys me. I'm not primarily a crocheter. In fact, I've only ever really done crocheted granny squares, things that are really simple. So when my mum initially showed me a picture or mentioned this cardigan, I was like, oh gosh, Mum, I can't do that. That is too difficult for me. Like, I've never even ventured into making a crochet garment, so I will not know what to do with that. However, the intrigued side of my brain thought to myself, I wonder if I could, though. So I got online onto a website that did some charting software, and created the chart of the pattern from looking at images on the Cath Kidston website. I recreated something very similar. I swatched it and it came up beautifully, pretty much the same. And then I decided to work up a little small schematic to give myself a rough idea of measurements and the shape and sizing and things, and then chained on this, and I've been working on this quite a lot since the last time you saw it. I think I had about this much done. I had like 2 repeats. I have another repeat in a bit. So this is all of the fronts and back. So as you can see, I've got markers at the bottom which indicate my front, back and other front panel. And you guys, last night I got to the armhole. I can't believe it. So I've been working on this pretty much most of last month. It has been a bit of a hard slog for me, mainly because crocheting, you have to actually look at what you're doing. So it's great if you want a bit of time out and focusing on what you're doing, bit of mindless crochet. However, I really like to watch telly when I'm doing my crafting, and it's quite difficult to watch telly and make sure you're going into chains properly. So I think that's why I found it a bit like hard work. So I've been doing a few rows a night because the rows are really long, but now I'm at the armhole, these will be smaller sections. So I'll be working across this first, and I'll be figuring out some shaping for the armhole. So I'll be whizzing through these top halves, I think, now. As long as I can figure out how to do my shaping. I have no idea. I think I'm gonna spend maybe tomorrow, after, maybe chart up Will's sleeves and then sit by my computer with the chart that I actually created for the body, the repeat, so that I could see it, and maybe omit some of the pattern and see how I can shape it in to where I need it. It's just a little bit of playing time, really, isn't it? Because I'm gonna have to do that legwork and figure out. But I'm nearly there. Oh, and I can't wait to be nearly there. The other thing is that the sleeves on this is meant to be patterned in the same pattern, which is it's a bit like a pansy kind of flower pattern. I have no idea how I'd shape a sleeve in this. I'm gonna see if my mum wouldn't mind me doing it in the trebles. I'm sure she wouldn't. I've already mentioned to her now that I'm doing this cardigan for her, because I had to ask her what size sleeves she'd like. I never see her really wearing long sleeves, but the design originally had long sleeves. Well, longish, I think. But I know that she's a middle-aged lady, and I think she'd prefer maybe a shorter sleeve, and I thought that maybe she might want it for the summer and want an actual short-sleeved cardigan, but she doesn't. She wants a 3/4 sleeve, which is less crocheting. So yes, that's less crocheting for me to do later, but I'm fully underway with that now, so that's really nice. Finally seeing some progress, because a few weeks ago all I was doing was grumbling and moaning that I wasn't getting anywhere, and it was getting me down a bit that I couldn't work on my own things because I was concentrating on all of this gift knitting that I've been doing. So can't help that. The next thing that I have been working on recently is my Yggdrasil mittens, which is by Ellie of the Skein Deer. So if you remember, I think I shared this one with you, and I'd finished the first mitten. Really beautiful design. I think I finished it, or I hadn't fully done the thumb, but it fits perfectly and it's gorgeous and I absolutely love it. So that's the first mitt. And here's the second mitt. So I haven't got very far on the second mitt recently because silly old me had to pull back her second mitten because I'd left a bit of time between doing the first mitten and the second mitten. I actually I knit the wrong hand. So I made two right hands. I felt so stupid because I'd literally casted off the body of the hand and went, oh no. And my partner went, what's up? And I was like, I've only knitted two of the same hand. And he just laughed at me. Which, fair dues, I deserved it. However, I was really gutted, so I've had to rip back. So I'm knitting from the yarn still because it wasn't too crinkly. So I'm knitting, and you can't really tell actually that I'm knitting from already knitted yarn, which is good. So I'm redoing those, but I put them to the side again for the minute, just so that I can work properly on gift knitting. However, I am giving myself some time today and tomorrow to have a bit of free time to knit on things. So you never know, I might finish these this week. Would be nice to have something off of the needles. But I am also working on a few other things that are gifts. So we'll see. The other things that I'm working on that are gifts. First thing, well, the second thing really, because this is something that's more recent. I went to knit group last Wednesday, which I'm really enjoying going to. I've started going to my local knit group at my local yarn shop, and it's just been something to pick up my midweek. So once it gets to Wednesday, I'm like, yes, half of the week is done at work, and it usually really cheers me up going, and I love everybody that's there. They're lovely people. One of the ladies recently had a baby, but he was due next Wednesday. She had him about a month or so early, so I'd only met her a couple of times, and then she'd had him already, so I never actually got a chance to knit him anything. But we're actually having a belated baby shower for her. So they were on about, oh well, we've already given her all of our hand knits for him and there won't be anything for her to open. So I said that I'd make some booties. But the other lady sat next to me had already made us some booties and hadn't brought them in yet. And I was like, oh, maybe I should knit something else then, so that it's a little bit different. So I decided, when I held him the other week, he was wearing baby socks, but they weren't hand knit. So I'm making him some little tiny baby socks. I'm not really a big baby person at all. I'm not one of those people that want children. However, they are cute, and I'm happy enough to hold them, play with them, as long as I can give them back. I really don't want my own. But these are pig and cute. Like, I love knitting these. This is like a quick project. If you are wanting real satisfaction knitting, making baby socks for a little child, super satisfying. Not only are you keeping his feet warm, and not only are you cheering up his mum by making such cute little things, but man, they're so small. So this is the newborn size, and this is the Rose City Roller pattern, and I think they're adorable. So I started making the second sock yesterday at work, and I got this far. So I just need to do the rest of the gusset decreases, a few more of those, and then knit a few rounds on the foot and then do the toe and I'm done. So that's the first one. I have plans to make another pair before next Wednesday. I would do a few pairs if I weren't knitting on anything else. I would do quite a lot, but I suppose I can make a few here and there over the coming month and give them. But I intend that the next pair may be a 1 to 3 size months, and I'm going to do that in a Christmas yarn, a London House Yarns elf colourway, and so he's got a pair of Christmas socks. They'll be dead cute. So I'm loving these. I'm doing these on my DPNs, which are 2.5, but not that that really matters to you guys because everybody's gauge and tension is different. But yeah, these are super sweet. I want more of these. But the Rose City Rollers pattern is really good. It's really well written. Everything's really nicely laid out, and it's also very descriptive. So if you've never knit a sock pattern, I'd actually check that out because it actually gives really good details and explains everything. Like it explains why you slip your stitch at the beginning of your heel flap and things like that, which is good to know when you're new to doing things. So if you're wanting a basic heel flap sock, check out the Rose City Rollers pattern. Obviously this is the little Rose City Rollers version of the pattern, but yeah, it's really sweet and I enjoyed knitting those. The other kind of gift project that I'm doing is sewing related. You see, I'm doing all sorts for others at the minute. I've not had much chance to do much of my own, but my mum is doing a get one that's finished out. Oh, these aren't finished, but I'll show you them anyway. She's doing a stand for Macmillan. As you know, over the past year she went through breast cancer, so her local church are doing a Christmas market, and she's actually gotten in touch with Macmillan, and she's got like a Macmillan box and such, so people can donate. But she's also wanted to make things for the stand to sell. So like my auntie's making cakes and things, and I think Mum's got to make some biscuits, and she's been making decorations, and I've been making decorations as well. So over the past couple of weeks I have been pumping out making gingerbread men. These guys are so cute. This isn't something I've ever done before, but I've really enjoyed making them. Here and there I've just been sitting down and finishing them. If you can see him, he's a snowman. So I think I've got 5 or 6 snowmen, and I think I've got about 5, yeah, I've got 6 snowmen and 5 gingerbread men, because the first gingerbread man ended up in an accident with the sewing machine. So you know when like the thread gets all knotted up, and there was just no saving him because I didn't know it had knotted up until I cut him out, which meant I couldn't redo the sewing. However, so those are underway fully, and I just need to put a few more loops on them, and they are done. So I can't wait. And I'm planning on doing some snowflakes, but they're very intricate, so if I don't think I can manage that, I'm going to make some glittery felt polar bears. And I've also got some felt this weekend that's glittery to make some holly berries to hang on the Christmas tree as well. So I've got quite a few things to throw out on the sewing machine this weekend, all being well. The next thing that I've been working on here and there has been my most beloved sock blank socks, which I got this sock blank at Yarndale from Martin's Lab. And I don't know if you can see the colours because it's getting blown out because of the lighting. but I have striped these slightly and they've come out a little bit like my my Frankenstein's Bride Halloween sock blank that I got last year from Andre Sunitz, which I absolutely love. And I've gotten to the point where I just need a heel in that. But I've started my second one, which is a little bit more stripy. Yay! Because I've gotten to the point where the sock blank is now blue and bright pink, and I love it. So it's super cute. I'm really enjoying these. So they're going to look really kind of odd together, but I love them and I don't care. They're just fun, and it's something that I can pick up while I'm just relaxing and watching films and not doing anything else. Because at the minute I am just, like I say, I'm working on things that are mainly for everybody I know rather than for me, which is a struggle. I really am more of a personal knitter, so when you're doing a lot of this for other people and not much for yourself, my creativity just feels like sluggish and put off. I feel a bit fed up. So I'm looking forward to having some knitting that is a bit more exciting and rejuvenates me a bit. And I have got plans, like, to cheer myself up. I have already project bagged yarn ready for that cast on day when some of these gift projects are gone. So when I've done Will's sweater and my mum's cardigan, I fully intend on casting myself a sweater on. I have now yarn for the Melly cardigan, which is from a summer pom-pom, and it's like a deep periwinkle purpley blue, and it's really nice. And it's cotton silk DK yarn, so I'm really looking forward to that. That is definitely on the cards. I also have yarn picked out and bagged up that is for my Oracle shawl, and I think I'm going to go for the big version because I know that in the summer I can knit myself the half pie version, and Kristen kindly gifted me both of those patterns, so thank you so much, Kristen. That was super sweet of you. And I am really excited. I have picked out my yarn and I'm like about it. Yeah, they are perfect, and when I get to that I'll be showing them on the podcast. The next project as well that I would really like to cast on, I've got loads of sweater quantities, guys. So my Millington cardigan, which I bought yarn for at Yarndale, that I got from Laxton Limited, I really want to knit that. So yeah, I have got projects lined up and bagged up, ready to go. And I even have Christmas yarn bagged up and ready to go. In fact, 2 lots of Christmas yarn. I have a skein that I bought earlier in the year that's from the colouring book yarns, which I've been waiting to use, and that is to knit over the actual Christmas holidays itself. And I also have a skein of limited edition West Yorkshire Spinners in their latest, I think it was called Candy Cane colourway, and I got all of that, so I really want to knit that as well. So I've got like a ton of projects in mind, ready and raring to go. The other thing that I've been working on is my hand spun, which is actually really wet and it's drying up here. So it's not really wet, but it has been in the bath, or its bath, because it was the sink. But I've done my hand spun and I've washed it, and it super smells because it's damp. So it's just drying at the minute, and I can't wait to knit this up. I'm so excited by it. So I finished that fairly recently, and I'm super glad that it's off my drop spindle. But I'd really like to do some more colour work projects. So this is like on my mind at the minute. I really want a Damiaka Lopa after seeing Ellie's version and knowing that I now love doing colour work. It's really exciting me. So that is, I even have a colour idea in mind from from Yarndale that came into my head that's just like, I want to do that. So that's a possibility. And yeah, I've lost my train of thought. So I really want to do some colour work projects. That is like top of my list as a plan. There's just so much knitting in the world that I don't have time at the minute to do it all. It's a little bit depressing. You see what I mean? I'm in a bit of a rut. Anyway, so today I have some things that I really want to share with you, and they came to me in the post fairly recently, so I will share these with you. I don't actually know what's in here. Oh, yeah, I do. I keep buying yarn and I now have nowhere really to hoard it, so some of the yarn that I have bought is now in project bags just sat waiting, because I have nowhere else to store them. So I won a giveaway, and I had actually been looking at cat project bags online. And lo and behold, this month a couple have come into my persons. So I won this on Instagram from Sojo Bags, and this is a Wildcats bag, but look how cute they are. And it comes with a little tassel and a progress keeper and a little handle, which is really cute. So this is one of their sock-sized kind of project bags. It has inside pockets as well, and I am hoarding away some yarn I bought when I went to York a couple of weeks ago. I didn't have a ton of money, and I shouldn't have been buying yarn, but when you go there and you know there's a yarn shop anyway, you want to kind of get a souvenir, right? So instead of, I looked at the hand-dyed skeins, but there was nothing really that jumped out at me. And I was tempted by some coupe knits. However, when I looked down, I saw the bright pink, and this is like a raspberry colour. It's kind of like a bit neon on here, but it's not as neon in person. And then I saw the mustard and thought that that would make cute heels and toes. So at some point these will be a pair of socks. And I really love them. So I've been hoarding those away in here. So I got this gorgeous bag and I love it. So if you've never seen Sojo Crafts Etsy, I will put the link in the actual show notes on Ravelry for you to go and take a look, because she does some gorgeous bags, and she's got some more in recently that are just so cute and perfect. And it's really nice. It's slightly got a bit of wadding in there, so it's slightly quilted, it feels like, and it's just really nicely made. It's got a box bottom. The sewing is really neat. It's just a beautifully created bag. And of course it's got cats on it. So me and Amy of Stranded Dyeworks, Amy loves cat bags, and she's not the only one, because I am very much a cat person. I love cats. I love mine sometimes. He's very grumpy. But I love cat bags. So this is also going in my cat bag hoard, which I have a few of. I think I've shared 2 today, cat bags. So I received that as a giveaway prize, so I was really excited to receive that. And then I also received a prize for you guys for one of the Knitalongs, which I think is going to go for the brioche KAL, from Paper and String Makes, which is the very lovely Melissa. If you check out on Instagram, I think she is Paper and String Makes now. And she has a gorgeous Etsy shop. She's American based. Oh, and Sojo Crafts, Sojo Bags are actually UK based, just to let you know. But Melissa is American based, and she gifted us this gorgeous project bag. There's a couple of teas in there as well. So I'm going to pop this in for the brioche along prize. And it's just so cute. Look at the gorgeous fabric. It's got little owls and birds and foxes and bears and raccoons and squirrels. It's just adorable. I think this is the sweetest little bag, and I know one of you is going to absolutely love it. So Melissa sent me this for you guys, and I weren't expecting really anything else. This is all I was expecting, was just a wonderful bag for you. But she kindly gifted me a couple of things, and one of them was a project bag of my very own. Oh my god, look at this. It is so cute. I squealed when I opened this. I literally did squeal. Now, Melissa noticed that I liked one of her cat bags on her Instagram and kindly made me one for myself. Thank you so much, Melissa. You are the sweetest person ever. This was really kind and generous of you, and I couldn't believe that you'd sent me this. I really did squeal, and I got super excited, and I was like, oh my god, this is adorable. It's got some little tassel. I love these tassely progress keepers, they're really sweet. It's got a handle. It's made out of a wadding, kind of a wadded lining. This is also holding some socks that I'm knitting on while I'm reading. I'm not interested in just plain. It's got a D-ring in so that you can open up and put stitch markers on. Which I really like. That's a really nice feature. And yeah, it holds plenty of yarn. This is her sock size as well. But isn't it so sweet? So it's a little bit, because I've had yarn in it and it's been sat on my desk for a little while, it's a little bit wrinkled. But how gorgeous is this bag? And yet again, this is so nicely made. I love this little detail, ribboned detail that she's sewn in as well, because that's just a really nice extra feature. I like it. I like the fact that it's got a little bit of embellishment. It's sweet. And it's pink. I love pink. I'm not really a very big girly girl. However, I love pink. I'm a bit of a pink tomboy, kind of, in a way, if that works. But yeah, I absolutely love my project bag. Thank you very much, Melissa, and it's going to get plenty of use. So I will also put Melissa's shop in the Ravelry group, and if you are new to our podcast Ravelry group, there is actually a section which I made a page for. You can make pages, so at the top it like has the headlines of discussions and threads and pages and whatnot. There's a page in there that is actually shops that have donated previously to the podcast, and I link in their details so that you guys can look in there and look back at who has shared things. Obviously, I don't know if some of those shops are still relevant, but I like to share that they've donated previously. So if you want to check out that listing as well, that is there. So thank you so much, Melissa, for my gorgeous kitty bag and this gorgeous giveaway bag. That's so kind of you, and I'm sure my viewers will love you and appreciate it, and share some love to Melissa. So thank you very much. The next thing I have to share with you today is a review. So it's kind of slightly exciting. I was asked very sweetly by the Pom Pom ladies to give a review of their latest book, which I'm sure a lot of you have followed and heard about on Instagram and online. Pom Pom Press have produced a new book by Bristol Ivy, which is called Knitting Outside the Box, and I received mine this week. So it came in this gorgeous wrapping, which is super nice and stylish. I love it. So I think this has been made particularly for this book as well, and it says on Pom Pom Press London. It's super nice and well thought about. I really like that. So it came in its own custom wrapping, and it came in a kind of like Amazon does, and it's like a box envelope, and then it was wrapped in bubble wrap. So it has been really safely delivered, and it has not been bent or anything. It's perfect. So it's been nicely looked after on its travels. I love the fact that it's been wrapped up in this custom wrapping. It makes it feel a little bit like a present to yourself, which I really love. And I love that they put small list of details into their things. Like, even being a subscriber of Pom Pom, they always present things really nicely and really well. So this is something that I was really excited to receive, and I got really excited, and I opened it and I had a peek, and I've had a little read and skim through, and I've taken some notes about this gorgeous book. So first of all, that you noticed about this book is it's a book, an actual hardback book. So it's not just like a publication kind of book. The previous books that they've done are a little bit like Pom Pom itself, which they're like a softback, but they're really nice. I like the softback ones as well. However, this is extra special, so the fact that it's a hardback, it makes it a bit more of a keeper, and it's lovely, and it makes it feel more like treasure. It's a treasured book to me. So it's been produced as a hardback, and the book itself is actually a textured cover. So it's, I don't know if you can see this, it's really nicely textured, and I believe from watching their live preview of the book, Pom Pom and Bristol Ivy, I believe this book itself is actually a linen cover, and it's just printed on to the linen. So that's really gorgeous. And right away, when we look at this book, the photography is gorgeous. They always have beautiful photography. It stands out a million miles from any other knitting book or magazine to me. I think that they're super stylish. I love it. Really inspiring and interesting. Secondly is the meat of the book. So the inside of this book is just fab. The idea behind the book itself is to push and challenge yourself creatively, and to inspire you into like altering things. Like, don't just settle with a design. You could actually take you could even take a design that you've bought and liked, and you could make it something new. You could adapt it. You could find inspiration from out in the world and create something from that that's actually knitted. It's really to take you from where you are now and into a new place, a new knitting place. Bristol Ivy is actually, she's a really awesome lady, but she actually teaches, and you can tell that she's excited about teaching knitting, and this book is kind of an extension of that. She wants to teach you and take you somewhere you've not thought of going with your knitting. So it's really an inspiring book. And one of her main quotes of the book, I hope she doesn't mind me quoting her, is that knitting has traditions but doesn't have rules. And she's right. Like, design is exciting, and you can take it wherever you want to go. Like, you can passionately take tidbits from here, there and everywhere as ideas, and you can manifest them and make something your own, which is what designers do. So even if you want to start from the beginning and design an idea for yourself, or even if you're adapting somebody else's design and making it your own, you can. And I like that concept. Basically, she's telling you that you have the power to do this, and that this book is exactly that. The book is built on exercises and techniques, and it's meant to help you hone in on those skills and get your processes and thoughts tingling, and you know, get you well going in creating something new for yourself. I don't really want to give you like too much information on this book, you know, so that you're not, I don't want it to not be a surprise for you, so I don't want to go too crazy and share too much about the actual the talk of the book. Basically, I want you to be able to read it and feel like it's still new. So I haven't in this review I haven't really taken too much wording from this, because I want you to be surprised. I want you to read it and get excited. So I've just narrowed it down to what I think about the book. But basically, the exercises in this book are to get you to think differently about your knitting, get you to think differently about fabric and texture and shape, and build on those and create something different. The exercises in this book as well aren't really long, so I will just flick through briefly. So exercise number 1 is called Mashup. And Mashup has a few pages of writing. So these exercises can be read fairly fast. It's not something that you have to sit and linger over. It's not something that's like tons and tons and tons of pages and information. It is small but thorough, and it's to give you inspiration and to push you in the direction of, you know, something new and exciting. You guys want to obviously make things for yourself. You obviously want to create things, because that's why you knit. So why not go that step further and make something 100% your own? And that's what she does in this book, and it's really great. I love it, and I'm really excited about this because I love designing. I don't really get a chance to do it, but it's making me think that maybe I might actually design something again for myself or for you guys, so we'll see. But she has definitely inspired me to pick up my needles in a different way again. So thirdly, it goes over techniques as well. So these techniques are things like design elements, such as like increasing and decreasing short rows and stitch patterns, and you know, all the things that shape a design, whether it's actually the shape or the way it moves or the actual texture of a piece. It makes you think about all these different things, and playing with those actually create and embellish your designs. So she gives you chapters on those sort of things as well, and really makes you think about how you can make something and change it and adapt it and make it your own. She also gives a little stitch dictionary chapter, which is really nice, and it isn't a huge chapter, but it gives you a few pages of like cables and lace stitches, slip stitches and tuck stitches, and it's just a little stitch dictionary that you can straight away dip your toes in to experiment. So I like that's already in there. You don't have to go and search for another book. You've got all that you need in here, which is really nice. The next thing about this book that is absolutely gorgeous is the designs and the patterns. Now the patterns are laid out beautifully. I know from speaking to Bristol at Pomfest that she really likes to be particular about the way that she writes and lays out her patterns, so that they're really easy to follow, well headlined. It's laid out really nicely. You can't get lost. There is sections that are like size, that are headlined via size and things, and it's just really nicely put together. It's how I like actually to read a pattern. And then there's charts as well, so it's really nicely, it's just really well laid out. Like it's really highly thought of. She's done this and thought about it herself, and you can tell that she sat down and spent the time making sure it's spot on for you guys. So it's the most easiest pattern to read and follow, and I like that. But the designs are absolutely stunning throughout in this book. I will try and share a few with you without sharing too much. But aren't they gorgeous? The pictures are just amazing. Now this book, the designs itself are very much for a woman. They're for us ladies, basically. The designs are not male led. There's shawls, cardigans, sweaters, there's a couple of accessories, I think a cowl and some fingerless mittens, but all of them are very feminine, which is fine. But the principles behind the book and the information you take away from the book is very much for anyone. So I think if you're a male knitter, you may want to have a look firsthand at a copy of this. So maybe check out maybe local yarn stores if they have any in stock, so you can go and have a flick through and see if it's something you definitely want to purchase. But I think you will, because the information that's in here is basically to get you to play and to experiment with your knitting. And also, men like to develop designs too. So why wouldn't you want to, you know, take information to use in inspiring yourself into creating something? So although it's very feminine and female led, doesn't mean that it's not for everyone. So I definitely check this out. And to expand on that, the designs are, yeah, they are female designs, you can tell. There's nothing wrong with that. And to be fair, some men like to wear shawls that are, you know, shawls and things, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be feminine. Some of them, I mean, there's one in particular, I don't know if I can find it, that comes to mind that I think would be quite wearable as a man, as a male shawl as well, is this one. And because of the way it hangs and drapes over shoulders, who's to say that a man couldn't wear that with like a big, like, you know, leather jacket or something, or whatever. It's what you make from it. And of course, that's the whole part of the book, is that you can change things. So in the book there is 15 designs, all different in many ways. They are awesome. There's plenty of shawls in this book and pullovers and cardigans, so it's highly worth it if you are a shawl or sweater knitter. And each design is named after an influential and powerful woman figure throughout history, which I think is a really nice touch. Bristol Ivy is very much a feminist, and that kind of shows, I think, in her work in a good way. So I don't know what else I could say about this book except for it's fab, and I'm glad that I own it. It's stunning. The photography, again and again, is gorgeous. This shawl I love. This is the, is it Audrey shawl? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This. And it is beautiful. It's a cabled shawl, but it's so cozy looking. So this is one of my favourites. I have a few favourites from the book, so I will share those with you now. I won't go too mental and share everything because I do love the entire book, but there are a few things that stand out in my mind as ones that I really want. This is the Woodman cardigan. Isn't that gorgeous? I saw this at Pomfest and straight away just the way that it drapes and hangs and those side pockets, I knew I wanted to make it. So this is high up there on the list of things to make. And then the Arbus pullover really excites me. There's something about the fact that it's in different directions. It's not just knit like it's top down or bottom up. It is done in pieces and directional, and it's really interesting. Like the fact that the yoke goes around sideways knitted, that is cool. And then you can see that all these panels are worked with short rows in different directions, different ways. It's just really interesting, and it gets me really excited to knit that. So even if you're not into creating or going crazy and adapting and changing patterns or creating your own designs, the patterns in this book are gorgeous and well worth the money. I want to knit everything out of here, so I have to say that I am glad I've got it. One of my other favourites as well, which is very versatile, I think a lot of people will love this, is the O'Keeffe pullover. Look at how stunning that is. It's kind of quite relaxed, it's a really elegant shape, it's beautiful. Just everything in this book I want to knit, so I'm so glad that I have my own copy. And I have been raving about this on Instagram as well. Even before getting my copy, I was telling people at Rhinebeck that they needed to check out the stand because I thought I just didn't want my friends to miss out on seeing this gorgeous book. So thank you, Pom Pom, for asking me to share it and give a review on the podcast. I am very delighted to be sharing this with you guys. You can find this book on the Pom Pom Press, on pompommag.com, underneath their books and publications, and I think it's about £30 in total. But it's one of those books that I will be keeping in my collection. I will not be parting with this, ever. That's how highly and how much I love this book. I'm very passionate about what Bristol has done. I think it's very interesting. I think it's a concept that hasn't been touched on yet. It's something as well that, being in a design background, it's something that I used to do at college when creating art pieces, was to take ideas and extend from those and create something else. So I really like that is the similar concept but for knitting. It gets me so excited, and so I'm really thrilled to take that another step further. If you wanted to see any more of the designs within this book, I will do a little slideshow of some of the other designs in the back end credits, so that you can see all the other things in here that you may love to check out. The next thing as well, so that's my review over and done with of the new Bristol Ivy book. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I keep saying it's gorgeous, but it is, trust me. The next thing that came in my post today, which I was thrilled for, very excited about, is the actual new issue of Pom Pom. I wasn't expecting this weekend. I don't know why. I just thought that maybe it was coming a little bit later on. But oh my god, guys. You know, when I was saying to you that I really am looking forward to some colour work. Hello. Cutest hat pattern ever. I love this edition. It is gorgeous. I love that. I love everything in here. This cardigan is stunning. All have a little bit of colour work in. It's just, oh. It's very mega, is this issue. It is filled with beautiful, beautiful patterns. Really nicely styled. Love the colours. Love the backgrounds. The backdrops are just beautiful. This one I love as well. It's so nice. There's just colour work all over it. Love it. Really like these faded knee-high socks as well. But I've just finished some knee-highs, so I might not jump into that just yet. But I'm thinking that I might use my leftovers from my fade to make some of those. Brioche hat. Hello. Gorgeous. Brioche shawl. Very exciting. I am thrilled by this issue, so I'm excited to sit with this later. So yeah, so that's all I've got to share for today, and I'm gonna end it here. But I hope you've enjoyed spending some time with me today, and I really hope that you've enjoyed the review and it's shared and informed you in some way about what you might be purchasing or what you're intending on getting for Christmas as a present. You know, I just hope that it's really giving you some insight into the book itself and, you know, aided you as to know whether that book is for you. I will put some of the imagery at the end credits for you, so you can take a little bit more of a look at some of the patterns in the actual book. I am going to love you and leave you, but I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you've enjoyed the episode and are willing to come back again in the future. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I will see you next time for my 40th episode. 40? I can't believe that. That's crazy to me. Anyway, thank you very much. I love you and leave you. Bye!